بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
هيا على خير الأمل هيا على خير الأمل هاي حسين يا حسين هاي حسين يا 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 حسين
ज़हरा कबूल कीजिए पुरसा हुसैन का
ज़हरा कबूल कीजिए
नारे तकबीर नारे तकबीर नारे रिसालत नारे रिसालत नारे बैदरी ज़वालक नारा हैदरी हुसैनियत हुसैनियत यजीदियत यजीदियत ज़हरा बुलंद सलावत
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन। अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला सय्यदिल अशरफिल अंबिया'i वल मुरसलीन व हबीबे इलाहिल आलमीन अल्लज़ी क़ीला फ़ी शानिही वमा अर्सलनाका इल्ला रहमतल लिल आलमीन अपनी अबिल कासिम अस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला अहलिहि तय्यबीन अत्ताहिरीन अल-मासूमीन अल-मुंतजबीन वलअनतुल्लाहि अला अअदाइहिम अजमईन। क़ाल रसूलुल्लाहि सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि व आलिहि वसल्लम इन्नल हुसैन मिस्बाहुल खुदा व सफीनतुन निजात। सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि
अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद।
Allah Azza wa Jal has given every person a position in society. Every single person, whether he is young or old, he has a certain status and position within the society. Each one of us, we try to pass on certain values and certain features that we want our youngsters to have when they grow up. Every single person in this room, if he is a father, he will try to make sure that his son has that value and that akhlaq, that kirdar inside him, which is better than the value which was put inside him in the first place. Any brother will try to make sure that his brother is better in character, has certain values which are better than the character that he has. Every single person in society will try to make sure that the next generation coming after him, he is better in kirdar, he is better in character, he has better values than the previous generation. And when it comes to the zikr of Ali Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, we need to also try and make sure that this zikr that we have this way of remembering Imam Hussain, this way of bringing our children to the Majlis Aza of Imam Hussain, this way that we have in upbringing our kids in the Azadari of Imam Hussain, it is passed on to our youngsters and youth the way Imam Zamana Ajjalallah Faraj Sharif wants it to be passed on. I am not going to take much of your time today, but it is a brief message that needs to be passed on. That Alhamdulillah, for the last 10 days, we have been gathering here at Al-Mahdi to remember the Fazail and Masaib of Ali Muhammad. And we need to understand, especially our youngsters and our youth, that what are the lessons that we learn from Karbala. Because the zikr of Imam Hussain, the musibat of Imam Hussain is not something that we just listen to. And once we listen to it, we go home without reforming ourselves. Because this zikr is that zikr that when we listen to it, it should change our hearts in a way that Imam Zamana is pleased with us. So what is it that we have learned in these last 10 days of this month of Muharram? Because Muharram does not finish on the day of Ashur, but it continues for another 20 days, and then we have the month of Safar, and then we have the 8 days of Rabiul Awwal. And this time period of Muharram, Safar up to the 8th of Rabiul Awwal, this is a month of remembrance. This is a month that we remember the sacrifice of Imam Hussain. But what do we learn? What lessons do we obtain from Karbala? The first lesson that we obtain from Karbala is loyalty. The first lesson that we obtain from Karbala is loyalty. How to be loyal to your master, how to be loyal to your brother, how to be loyal to your sisters, how to be loyal to your mother, how does a son be loyal to his father. All these lessons are taught in Karbala. And then the second thing that we learn is that do not bring yourself down in front of humiliation. Wherever there is injustice, always make sure that justice prevails. Why? That is a lesson from Karbala. No matter what is happening in the world, don't look at it at the point of view as nowadays how people portray it, as this is a political issue. The situation which is currently happening in Kashmir, don't look at it at a political level. Don't look at it that it is a war between India and Pakistan, but look at it in the sense that if Imam Zamana Ajjalallah Faraj Sharif was here today, will Imam Zamana look at it as a war between India and Pakistan, or will Imam Zamana look at it as a war within humanity? Because in Kashmir, people are not killing each other because of countries, but people are getting killed because of what religion they follow. And when it comes to religion, we go back to the lesson of Karbala, that wherever in the world injustice is taking place, be with those people that do justice. This is the lesson that we take from Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, that always sport the truth. Always be with he who is on the haqq. Do not look at whether he is from your country. Do not look at whether he is the same color as you. Don't look at the fact whether he speaks the same language as you. But the teaching of Imam Hussain in Karbala is that no matter where the haqq is, always support the haqq. And the next lesson that we take from Karbala is how to have patience. This is one of the virtues that many mu'mineen have lost. We are not patient when it comes to the majlis of Imam Hussain. We are not patient when it comes to the ibadat of Allah Azza wa Jal. Many people want the majlis to end quickly. Many people want the namaz to end quickly. Why? Because we are not patient anymore. When it comes to the zikr and the ibadat of Allah Azza wa Jal, we should make sure and try to do it as slowly as we can. Because this is that time where every second spent in the remembrance of Allah, these majalis that we have, look, you are remembering Imam Hussain, but at the same time it is only the zikr of Imam Hussain in which you remember Allah Azza wa Jal, in which you remember Rasulullah, and in which you remember Amir al-Mu'mineen. This zikr, it is azim ibadat, and you should always have patience when it comes to the zikr of Ali Muhammad. And the last and final thing that we learn from Karbala is, for our mothers and our sisters, is the hijab. And hijab is not only for women. Our men forget that men also have to do hijab. Not like the hijab like the women do. But what does it mean by hijab? Hijab means to cover yourself in such a way that when the other person looks at you, he is not forced by the devil. That is hijab.
برائے خوشنودی محمد و آل محمد بلند تر سلوات.
Two things that I would say, that no matter where you are in the world, always remember, there are many lessons from Karbala, but I am telling the youth to take in today's day and age 3 lessons from Karbala. One is loyalty, the second is patience, and the third is hijab. If you remember these 3 lessons from Karbala, believe me that your life will be spent in such a way that you can be certain that Imam al-Zamana will be pleased with you. Don't just listen to the Masa'ib and Zikr of Ali Muhammad with the intention of just listening to it. But always, whenever you come to the Majlis of Imam Hussain, wherever you go to the Zikr of Ali Muhammad, have the intention in your heart, Ya Allah, I am going to the Majlis of Imam Hussain, not to listen to it, but to learn and take something away with me. And whenever you have that intention, believe me, Allah Azza wa Jal will enlighten your heart, and Allah will guide you through the teachings of Ali Muhammad. Going back to our topic that we've covered in Muharram, it is guidance through Ali Muhammad. And you can only obtain this guidance from Ali Muhammad when Allah Azza wa Jal gives you the tawfiq. And tawfiq is that thing that whenever we are, wherever we are, we need to ask Allah, Ya Allah, for the sake of this zikr, give us this tawfiq so that we can be guided by Ali Muhammad. Can we have a loud salawat?
Nara Hadari, Hussainiyat, Hussainiyat, Yazidiyat, Yazidiyat, Rawaze buland tar salawat.
May Allah give us all the tawfiq so that we can understand who Ali Muhammad are. And once we have understood who they are, then we can obtain guidance from them. Once we have obtained guidance from them, then we can reform our lives. We can change our lives, and then we can connect with Allah. Then we can understand the purpose of our life. Imam Hussain alayhi salatu was salam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
A very dear friend in Karbala. His name was Habib ibn Mazahir. He was that companion of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu was salam, that every single companion of Imam Hussain, they came to Karbala with Imam Hussain. But this is that companion of Imam Hussain that Imam Hussain called to Karbala. Look at the loyalty that these companions, look at the love that they have. That person who is known as Habib, we call our friends Habib, but this is that Habib that Imam Hussain said, he is my Habib. Azadara, when Imam Hussain was writing the letter to Habib, the reason why we cry for Imam Hussain, that when Imam Hussain was writing this letter to Habib, Sayyida Zainab says, oh my brother Hussain, why don't you write in the letter that Zainab is also sending her salutations? Azadara, when this letter came to the house of Habib ibn Mazahir, I'm cutting the Masaib short, when the letter arrived, Habib thought that Imam Hussain is inviting him to his son Ali Akbar's wedding. Azadaro, when the Qasid came and Habib opened his door, when he realized that this letter is from Hussain ibn Ali, he kisses the letter and he sits down. When he opens the letter, every time Imam Hussain would send a letter, he would say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is the first letter that Imam Hussain sent out. Instead of saying salam, Imam Hussain writes, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. When Habib read this, Habib began to cry. Habib says to his wife, oh my wife, Hussain is all alone in Karbala. Azadaro, Habib arrives in Karbala. Azadaro, he gets isn't from Imam Hussain to go and fight. Habib goes and fights. Azadaro, when Habib falls from his horse, Imam Hussain rushes to Habib ibn Mazahir. Azadaro, look at the loyalty of his companion of Imam Hussain. When Imam Hussain puts the head of Habib in his lap, Habib begins to cry. Imam Hussain says, oh Habib, why are you crying? Habib says,